The comprehensive book of modes and scales for keyboard players was written specifically for classically trained pianists with little knowledge of scales. This book contains over 70 scales and modes, including major, minor, the church modes, the so-called jazz modes, pentatonic modes, bebop scales, octatonic scales, several exotic scales, and much more. Each scale in this book is shown with its interesting features, chords that may be used with it, and several ways to think of the scale. Each scale is shown in all 12 keys. Here's an example. The Dorian mode is the second mode of the Ionian mode or major scale. The parent mode is a major second below the first scale degree or the seventh note of the Dorian scale. For example, D Dorian is the second mode of C major. Notice that the Dorian mode has several interesting or defining features. 1. D Dorian can be found by playing all the white keys from D to D. 2. The Dorian mode is the same as a natural minor scale with a sharped or raised sixth scale degree. 3. You can subtract one flat from a minor key signature with flats to find the Dorian key. For example, D minor's key signature has one flat. D Dorian has no flats. 4. You can add one sharp to a minor key signature with sharps to find the Dorian key. For example, E minor has one sharp, F sharp. E Dorian has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. 5. There are minor seconds, or two half steps, between scale degrees 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. There are several chords that may be used with this scale. Some possibilities built on scale degree 1 are minor triads, minor 6 chords, minor 7 chords, minor 9 chords, and minor 13 chords. Note that the minor 13 chord includes all the notes of the Dorian mode. Here are two ways to think about the Dorian mode. 1. Compare it to another scale. For example, the Dorian mode is the same as a natural minor scale, except the sixth scale degree is raised one half step. 2. Think of the notes of the parent scale and invert it. For example, C major uses the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. D Dorian uses the same exact notes, except it starts on the second scale degree, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Let's take one more example. Here's the second pentatonic mode, usually called major pentatonic. This is a 5-note scale. The major pentatonic scale corresponds to the 5 black keys on a piano from G flat up to E flat. For example, G flat major pentatonic consists of the notes G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat, and E flat. Here are some interesting or defining features. The intervals between individual notes are all minor thirds or major seconds. Many melodies use the major pentatonic scale because almost any succession of notes sounds pleasant in major pentatonic. There are several chords that may be used with this scale. Some possibilities built on scale degree 1 are major triads, major 6 chords, dominant 7 chords, dominant 9 chords, and dominant 9 chords, a perfect fifth above the first degree of the scale. Here are two ways to think about the major pentatonic scale. 1. Compare it to another scale. For example, the major pentatonic scale is built on scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 of the major scale. 2. Think of the piano's black keys from G flat up to E flat. Now use the same intervals or number of half steps starting on any other note. For example, the half steps between the notes of the major pentatonic are 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. This book is available on Amazon.com or at PaceMusicServices.com.